What's going on, YouTube? This is Fish Phil. Just giving you an update on my battle versus Ick. Fish are doing pretty well. I got them in this small gallon tank. Getting ready to move them over in a few days into a 29 gallon. I wanted to keep them in here. Completely cleared up on both my clown and my angel back there. No signs of ick whatsoever on them. Actually got a new tail spot blending I put in here. It's looking pissed off. I figure I'm gonna put some fish in here and get them quarantined and get them over and get all my livestock together. Congobi, he still got some on there. Surprisingly, I stopped dosing the Cupramine. It's just another added thing I had to worry about. But overall, he's looking better. He's looking a lot better than what he was before. I don't know if you can take a look at my angel now. No white spot on him at all. Looking beautiful. His end of his fin there. I was a little afraid, but other than that, that's the only leftover damage, I guess you could say. He's just chilling in the corner. He's dope. Yeah. I went away for the weekend. I don't know if you can see on my glass. See all that? It's like an explosion of microfauna in the tank. And I'm absolutely loving it. I'm not scraping the glass. I'm gonna leave it like that for a few days. Let them feed off that. Feed and breed. Feed and breed. Go ahead. Working out. I've been wanting this to happen for a long time because I want to introduce a Mandarin goby into the tank. So you need even if it's eating live foods, you want to have a good, healthy, large population of copepods and microfauna for them to feed off of. But look at that. They're all over it. I was looking in the substrate. They're all over in the substrate and stuff. So everything's looking pretty dope. And actually, same thing here in the Cobalt Aquatics. I'm getting a bad glare. I'm sorry about that, y'all. But if I can move to this side, maybe get less of it. I started shooting really late, per usual. It seems like with me, but anyway, seeing some on the glass here as well, which is pretty dope because once again, I want to get probably gonna get a small, not a Mandarin goby, but I forgot what the other one was. Looks like has the green spots on it. And I'm gonna go put them in there. But so far, everything is going pretty well. I'm going to be, like I said before, plans are to move these guys into a 29 gallon. Getting the water already and moving them in there. On another note, I decided to add a little something to the Refusion. I'm gonna go with some what's this, Coral Lagoon substrate. I thought about Refusion mud, but I didn't like the consistency of the mud. I wanted something a little bit more rock based, or it's not a little bit more less slimy, I guess, or messy. So I got some of this. I didn't put this directly into the back. What I did was I took one of these and I cut the edge off, lip off, so I just had the cup. And I don't know, you won't be able to see too well, but if you can see in the back there, let me actually grab something real quick. I'll show you guys. In the back here, I kind of just set it down in there. So you can see that. It's on the top of a rock. I kind of wanted the flow to run through there slowly, not too quickly. So I kind of set it on something so it wouldn't disturb the... So hopefully, the hope is that, you know, you'll have microfauna that will eat off the algae and go back into the sand bed, into refugium bed, as well as the stuff that, from my understanding, they release a lot of nutrients back into the tank that are great for the corals. So I figure, you know, why not try it? Some people swear by it. It couldn't hurt. Just one more added thing to the tank to try out. Like I said, I like to try things, and you know, see if there'll be any added benefit. I don't, and that's the thing with the tank that's kind of growing. You don't know for sure what's the added benefits or not, especially in the beginning. But you know, if and I seem to be doing a whole lot, which I don't mind. I like experimenting, trying new things after I've done my research. I almost, and doing a refugium with the substrate, I've always wanted to do, but I have, you know, with the all-in-one tanks, you don't want to. I didn't want to place it directly in the bottom, because that'd be messy and trying to get it out. I don't see myself doing that with this tank. I mean, one, it's got a really small area. I have to find a cup small enough to put it at the bottom. I don't know if it'd be worth it in such a small amount. But then again, it may. I don't know. But I think this, with the way the Chaeto grows in this tank, and I can show you once again. This thing is like, I mean, this thing grows like mad. Look at that. I mean, I cut that in half. In a week, it'll be back again. Like, or I'll cut it down to a fourth. In a week, it'll be back again. This thing is great. It's the probably. That's one of the. I'm happy I did it. I know it doesn't look that great, but it gets the job done. I can care. You know, all this stuff doesn't mean anything. You know, I don't care what it looks like. I mean, some of you guys might. I can make it look prettier, but it's doing its job. Especially since I'm always taking it off and taping it back up, whatever. I'm not that OCD, but it does the job. Corals took a hit in this tank, so we're gonna be fighting back, and I gotta do a lot of testing, particularly my candy canes. I'm going to assume it has something to do with my calcium. I probably got a little calcium, but we'll see. I gotta do some testing tomorrow. It's getting a little bit later tonight. I got other things I gotta do. But yeah, so everything is growing. The corals are growing pretty well. Got a couple of heads on my zoanthid right there. I moved. Where did I put you? Well, I was thinking about moving those, but I'm gonna leave them there for a while. Yeah, and I think I'm going to try feeding Polyp labrifroides. I've heard a lot about this. I'm gonna give it a try for a while and see how the corals react, particularly my zoanthids. I've tried other things and they don't seem to really. It's really hard to see if they're actually feeding off the stuff or not. But I really want to try something a little bit outside of feeding mysis shrimp and stuff like that. I'm particularly wanting to give this to my acan, because the one on the acan on the top, the main one, is lightened up a little bit. I don't know if it's dying or what's going on in there, but it's got its tentacles out. It's ready to feed, and the ones on the sides they've actually grown larger. You can see they've grown significantly larger, and I've actually been feeding them as well. But I plan on feeding everything Reefroids and see how they do. See if I can nurse that one back. I don't know what's going on with that. But I got some water changes I got to do in this tank. I suspect it has something to do with what I was dosing in this tank. They quote unquote it's supposed to be reef safe, but I've noticed, and it may just be the way I was dosing. Don't know. It may have been the amount I was dosing. I don't know. The Polyp Lab Medic. I can't say that was caused this with my ACAN, but outside of dosing that, and it could be lack of water changes. So, because when I was dosing that, I wasn't doing water changes. It is a newer tank, so I can't say per se it was, due to that. It could be any number of things. It could be my water parameters that just, because I wasn't doing water changes. Once again, it was my, excess nutrients or whatever in the tank. Any number of things, but of all the things I noticed, those are the two major things that I did not do in this tank while I was dosing. When I was battling it, I was dosing that medication, and I wasn't doing water changes because you can't do the water changes while you have this stuff in the water. You need to keep dosing. And the same thing with this tank. I noticed that my rainbow Stylopora in the back is suffering. Once again, on the camera it looks white, but all the pops has not been extended. It's been like about a week. My ACANs, they're not looking great. But honestly, everything else is fine, unaffected. Even my ORA bird's nest, whatever, forgot the name of it, but that seems to be fine. But we'll see. I plan on doing some water changes and seeing if that makes a huge difference. I'm hoping it does because I don't want to lose anything. Yeah, we'll see. And I'm back to dosing my my normal coral foods and stuff like that, the trace elements and things like that. My two-part. Anyway, just a quick update on my challenges, good and bad. Good things going forward. And if you have any questions, go ahead. I'll try to get back to you as soon as possible. Go ahead, hit that subscribe button, hit that like button if you want. Join me in my adventures. My new reefer, loving every minute of this. And I hope you guys are learning something new. Maybe I'm hoping I'm bringing something new to the game that you haven't seen or tried or thought of trying. Honestly, I will see videos and think about things. I'm like, oh, maybe I should try that. Or I'll read something like, that's awesome. Or try different combination of things. See how they go. But I'm trying to find what I'm trying to do is find a perfect perfect setup, and run with it. That's why I'm not changing the setup, because it's for a year it's run how I have it, for the most part, outside of adding a few things like the auto top off and things like that. For the most part, I've been running it with the little makeshift refugium and the protein skimmer, and the same things I have in the back, and constant. I've upgraded the lights after a few months, but outside of that, I want to keep everything the same. I want to get this down to a low maintenance tank. Anyway, just giving you guys an update. Do your research, try things out, and see what happens. Later, y'all.